Hi, my name is Emily, and welcome back to the Sunshine Emms podcast. This is the mini series Golden Hour, where I share some of your guys' stories and comments, answer some questions, and really celebrate some of these wins with you. Starting off, I have a few stories that were submitted that I would love to read, react to, and just kind of share my thoughts on. I'm going to make sure that anonymity and names are out of the story. Hi, I'm not sure if I'm being dramatic or if this is actually weird. One of my close friends and I used to joke about how different we were. I'm more into wellness, routines, journaling, that kind of thing, and she was always more spontaneous and carefree. But over the last year, she started doing almost everything I do. At first, it felt harmless. She started going to the same gym as me. Then she started posting similar content online, using almost the same captions or ideas I'd talk about with her before posting. Oof. Then she applied for a job at the same company as me, and now she's even talking about moving into the same apartment complex. Everyone says I should take it as a compliment, but it honestly makes me uncomfortable. It feels like she's slowly inserting herself into every part of my life. Am I overthinking this, or is it okay to feel weird when someone starts mirroring you this much? I have some experience on something like this that I'd love to give some insight to. I don't think you're overreacting. That is weird. I had a friend who started copying everything about me, from the way I like pens to my music taste to the guy I liked. It went well for her. It did not for me, but it was really awkward. And everyone also told me it's a compliment, take it as such. I didn't feel like it was a compliment because as she was inserting herself into my life, she was also taking over parts of my life until no one really realized I was gone because she became me. It was really, really hard to experience firsthand. And so, girl, good luck. Tell her either one, stand up for yourself and be like, hey, like, what's going on? Two, stand up for your content that you're posting. Be like, why is it that you're posting the same things as me? Do you want to brainstorm together for some of your own ideas? What? Or three, blocker. Kind of up to you how you want to approach that. But as for me, what I did was I just removed myself from her life. I let her be me to all of these people, and I just kept doing me on my own without everyone involved. I just got out of the friend group, of the drama, all of it. So, something to think about. If you're able to get away, because it is exhausting to have to compare every single time that she posts. Don't do it. Thank you so much for sharing with me that story. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'd love to answer them. Okay, let's do another story. Hi, I'm writing this because I've been listening to a lot of relationship advice lately, and I had a really uncomfortable realization. I think I might be the toxic one in my relationship. Oh no. Okay. Let's buckle in, I guess. My partner and I have been together for about 2 years, and overall, they're really patient with me. But recently, we had a fight where they said something that's been stuck in my head ever since. They said they feel like they're constantly trying not to upset me. At first, I got defensive because in my mind, I'm just someone who communicates and has strong feelings, but when I really thought about it, I realized there might be some truth to what they said. For example, if they don't text back for a while, I start assuming something is wrong. If they want a night with their friends, I sometimes take it personally. When we argue, I have a hard time letting things go and can bring the same issue up again. I don't think I'm trying to control them, but I also know I get anxious really easily, and sometimes I react before thinking. The part that scares me is that I love this person, and the last thing I want is to push them away or make them feel like they can't be themselves around me. But I also don't know how to tell the difference between normal relationship needs and behavior that actually might be unhealthy. So I guess my question is, how do you know if you're the toxic one in the relationship? And if you are, is that something you can actually change? Reading this one, I had a few realizations. I react really big. I have big emotions. At times when someone doesn't respond, I also am like, is something wrong? What's going on? I think you need to take a step back. And what I mean by that is try to slow down and think, am I reacting from a place of hurt or out of genuine concern? Because that matters. I have a lot of experience with being used by people in my past. and it has impacted my friendships and my relationships today. Something that I'm currently working on as someone who can come off kind of toxic because of how paranoid and defensive I get is slow down, really hash out what my feelings are, and then advocate for myself and communicate my feelings. I personally believe that in a great relationship, you can communicate just about anything and things should go in the right direction as long as it is healthy. So I guess you can definitely change if you see that you are the toxic person in this relationship. There is always room to change. And hopefully your relationship survives this as you change and evolve and grow together. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I hope everything works out. Okay, I have one more story and then I have a couple small wins people wanted to share with me. Hi, I'm 29, and lately I've been having this strange feeling that my life doesn't look like the one I imagined. I'm not unhappy exactly. I have a stable job, a decent routine, and people who care about me. But sometimes I look around and feel like I accidentally ended up on a path I never consciously chose. Like I just kept saying yes to the next logical step. The next job, the next move, the next responsibility, and suddenly years passed. Now I'm questioning things I never used to think about: where I live, what I do for work, and even sometimes my friendships and the people in my life. It's not that anything is wrong, it just feels like something's misaligned. Is this what people mean when they talk about a quarter life crisis? Or is this just a part of growing up? Dang, is this one hard? Okay, let me get comfortable here. I can relate to what you're saying. I have been going through a lot of changes in my life, and I've started being more observant about my choices and the people I let into my life. So you are not alone in that feeling. I guess some advice that I have for you is that start with one of the decisions that you made. Does it bring you joy? Whether it be, does it bring you to the next step or next goal that you want that will give you joy, or something that you've been aspiring to? If so, then it was a good decision to make. Think of your relationships, really look at them and realize, like, are these supportive people? Are they in my corner? Are they people that I would like to tell when something good happens right away? Do I want to share that with them? Then that's a good decision, a good person to have on your side. Really start looking at your choices and realize it may not be like a quarter life crisis or anything like that, but it kind of reminds me of when you're driving somewhere and you're like pulling into the destination and you realize you don't remember driving fully. Like you don't remember actively driving. It's like you kind of like not closed your eyes, but just stared off into the distance, and all of a sudden decisions have been made and now you're at your location and you're like, is this where I was supposed to go? That is a normal feeling. And I think we all get it during what some may call a quarter life crisis, because once you've finished college and you're going through your careers and you're looking at the people around you, you finally have a moment to look around you and realize, like, have I been making these decisions for me or for someone else? Before then, it's kind of hard to think about your choices and realize, where is it coming from? So don't freak out. Just start observing the people in your life and the choices you made, and really just think about if this is still the direction you want to go to. It is never too late to make a change and to try something new. So it is okay if you're not where you want to be and you want to go somewhere else. I'm excited for you to figure out what's going on. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Okay. Lastly, there are some small wins that I would love to share. My small win is kind of funny, but also a big step for me. There's someone I used to talk to would only reach out late at night when they were bored. In the past, I'd always respond because I didn't want them to forget about me. Last night, they sent me one of those "Hey stranger" texts, and I didn't reply. Not out of anger, just because I realized I deserve more than being someone's convenience. Girl, I am so proud of you. That's not a small win, that's a huge win. I'm proud of you for standing up for yourself, showing up for yourself, and being like, I deserve more than this, because you do. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay. Last small win that I have is, hi, I wanted to share a small win that felt really personal, so I guess here it is. I hit a small milestone at work recently, and my first instinct was to brush it off like it wasn't a big deal. But instead, I took myself out for dinner to celebrate. No big reason other than the fact that I worked hard and wanted to acknowledge it. Are you serious? First of all, congratulations on the milestone. I am so proud of you, and I'm so glad that you're proud of yourself too. It is so important to celebrate all of the milestones. I think, it is typical for us as a society to look past the small milestones and only focus on the big ones like weddings and kids and buying a house, when in reality, every milestone is worth celebrating. You can ask any of my friends, like, I celebrate our year friend anniversaries. I celebrate, promotions and getting into their programs. It is a huge moment and you deserve to be celebrated. Something important to note is there's this thing called an upward spiral. When something is good and you make a step towards the right direction and you see a success, when you celebrate it, it can fuel you to your next celebration and your next victory. And all of a sudden, your life is spiraling upward. So keep it up and keep celebrating all of these moments. I'm so proud of you for making that step and not brushing it off, not brushing it under the rug. Thank you so much for sharing. So that was this week's Golden Hour mini-series episode. And thank you for sharing your stories and your small wins. I can't wait to read more of them next Tuesday. In the meantime, I will see you guys on Friday, where I will be discussing outgrowing friendships, when it's necessary, when it's important to fight through it, and just kind of how to go about friendships as an adult. I will see you guys next time. In the meantime, keep showing up for yourself. You deserve it. I love you guys. Bye.